Hey, what's up everybody? Welcome back to the channel. If you're thinking about moving to Davis, California, maybe you've been watching Zillow listings, maybe you're tired of Bay Area traffic and you're just looking for something that's more human. Well, this video is for you. Today I'm going to talk to you about 7 things you absolutely need to know before moving to Davis. The stuff people don't tell you on the glossy real estate websites. We're going to talk about the charm, the quirks, the weather, the housing costs, the lifestyle, and even the little surprises that only locals notice once they've been here for a while. So if Davis is on your radar, stay with me. By the end of this video, you'll know whether this is your kind of place or whether you should keep scrolling for something else in Northern California. Before we jump in though, I'm Danny Lau, your friend in real estate here in Davis, California. I help people like you every single week relocate to Davis, Woodland, Sacramento, and the surrounding areas, whether it's for work, school, retirement, or just a lifestyle reset. So if you're ever thinking about making that move, I love to be the realtor that helps you get there. All right, let's get into it. Here are 7 things you should know before moving to Davis, California. Number 1, the housing market is no joke. And here's why. Let's start with the big one, housing, because honestly, this is usually the first shock for anyone considering a move here. When people ask me, hey Danny, is Davis expensive? Well, I always say yes, but it's not randomly expensive. Here's the story behind it. See, Davis has what you call intentional scarcity. The city has some of the strictest growth controls in California. We don't have endless suburbs sprawling out into the horizon like you find in places like Elk Grove and Natomas. Davis has what is called an urban limit line, basically a ring that says, nope, development stops right here. That's part of the reason it feels so green and well planned. You can drive 5 minutes out of town and suddenly you're in farmland with tractors and almond orchards. But that same policy also means that supply of housing stay really low, and when the supply is low, prices go up. As of this year, the median single-family home price in Davis hovers around $1 million. Condos and townhomes are usually in the $500,000 to $700,000 range. Rent for a 2-bedroom apartment can be somewhere between $2,200 to $2,600 a month, especially during the UC Davis school year. Now, that sounds rough, and for a lot of people, it is. But what's interesting is that Davis doesn't really have a luxury market. You don't see like $5 million mansions like you would see in Granite Bay or Folsom. What you're paying here is the location, the school districts, and the lifestyle. It's a city where people buy homes to stay, not flip. Most neighborhoods like Mace Ranch, North Davis, Wild Horse, Stonegate are full of people who have been here for 20, 30 plus years. There's a community stability which you really feel once you live here. And because Davis isn't expanding fast, even when the market slows down, prices rarely drop much. So yeah, housing here is no joke, but if you value walkability, great schools, great community, you start to understand why people pay the premium. I always tell my clients, you're not just buying a house in Davis, you're buying into a mindset. Number 2, it is a college town, but not just a college town. If you know Davis from driving past UC Davis on I-80, you probably picture it as a small college city full of students on bikes and farmers market. And you're right, sort of. UC Davis is everywhere. It is the biggest employer, the heartbeat of the city, and honestly the reasons Davis even exists at the scale that it does. But what people are missing is how Davis has evolved beyond just being a college town. Walk around the neighborhoods and you'll find young families pushing strollers, engineers commuting to Sacramento or the Bay, retired professors, people working remote tech jobs, and even some who moved here purely for the lifestyle. This fascinating mix Small town, world-class university, Bay Area influence. That blend gives the city an energy that's intellectual but grounded. You might grab a coffee next to a climate scientist, a local farmer, or a grad student just working on whatever research project they're doing. Now, there's a rhythm here that follows the school calendar as well. During fall, the city wakes up. Students come back, the restaurants get busier, the streets hum with energy. Summer, it slows down. You can find parking in downtown again, and the vibe gets calmer. It's almost like Davis has two identities, depending on the season, and both are part of what makes it charming. If you've ever lived in a college town, you know the feeling, the constant renewal every year, new faces, new energy, but with locals who've been here for decades, holding down the culture. So yeah, it's a college town, but it's also home for a lot of people who aren't students. And that balance is something Davis does better than almost anywhere else in California. Number 3, the weather. From 105-degree summers to foggy winters. Now let's talk about something that's surprising to most people, the weather. On paper, Davis looks mild, but in real life, you feel it. Summers here are hot, like oven hot. 100-degree plus weather is common in July and August. You'll learn to run errands early, bike rides happen at sunrise, walk your dog early, and everyone becomes a connoisseur of shades. The flip side, the city is dry. We don't have that sticky humidity you find in Texas or in the South. Once the sun sets, the air cools down really fast, and the evening can actually feel pretty amazing. Warm, still, peaceful. And then when winter rolls around and suddenly the world flips, we get what local calls the tall fog, this low, dense, ghostly fog that hangs over the valley for days. It is quiet, it's cold, sometimes eerie if you would, or perhaps peaceful if you find it that way. You wake up and you just can't see very far past your driveway. And that fog defines the Davis winter vibes. Gray morning, misty afternoons, and occasional rain. It doesn't snow, but we do get stretches where the sun hides for a week or two. Spring and fall though, the air smells like orange blossoms and almond trees. The weather is perfect, going for a stroll in the Arboretum or just biking the green belt. So yeah, to sum it up, if you like seasons, Davis gives you all 4. Just with a little extra spice in the summer. Pack sunscreen, pack a jacket, you use both in the same week. Welcome to Northern California. Number 4, bikes rule everything around here. Let's get one thing straight. Davis is not just bike friendly, it's a full-on bike kingdom. You'll see the moments you get here. Bike lanes are everywhere. There are dedicated bike bridges that go over freeways. Even the city logo has a bike on it. Davis was one of the first cities in the US to design itself around cyclists, and it shows. There's an unspoken rule here that if you can get there by bike, you probably should. You see kids riding to elementary schools, college students weaving through the campus, and retirees just cruising to the co-op. Parents towing toddlers in their trailers. So if you're not used to that, it's kind of amazing to watch, and it changes how the city feels. You don't hear as many engines, people actually make eye contacts at the intersection, but it does mean you need to adjust. If you drive everywhere and you never bike, Davis might test your patience at first. Bikers have the rights of way in most places, and they take it seriously. That said, the upside is huge. It's healthier, quieter, and it gives you the whole city this connected communal feel. If you move here, buy a decent bike. Seriously, it'll save you time, parking frustrations, and you start to feel like you're part of Davis rhythm instead of just visiting it. Number 5, the charm is real, and so is the quirkiness. Every city has a vibe, right? Academically laid back with a twist of eccentricity. You've got small town friendliness mixed with world-class research brains. People garden in their front yards, public arts pop up on random corners. There's a cow statue wearing sunglasses in downtown, and nobody questions it. This Saturday farmers market is a weekly ritual. If you go, you'll see everyone. Students, families, professors, parents, retirees, maybe some of your future neighbors. And there's live music, farm fresh produce, kids dancing on the grass, food trucks. It's the definition of a community. There's also this quiet pride in sustainability here. Davis has long been ahead of his time. Composting, solar panels, electric cars, local food is just normal life here. And the quirkiness, you'll find it in the architecture. 1970s homes with odd angles, like sculptures made from scrap metals, front yards that look like a mini farm. So people might call it weird, but others call it home. Everyone agrees. Davis marches to his own beats, and that's exactly what makes it special. If you're someone who values authenticity over flash, then you'll fit right in. Number 6, traffic isn't terrible until it is. Now let's talk traffic, because this one always catches people off guard. If you're comparing it to the Bay Area or LA, traffic here is a breeze. But compared to a typical small city, it gets annoying fast. The problem is geography. Davis is basically like an island of developments surrounded by farmlands. So we've got a handful of main entry and exit points, and once they clock, there's nowhere else to go. So Richards Boulevard underpass is famous for its backup, especially during rush hours or when campus lets out. Russell Boulevard near the university, forget it at 5 o'clock during the school year. And then there's also I-80. If you commute east towards Sacramento or west towards the Bay, you would already know it's hit or miss. Some days smooth, some days you will be questioning your life choices, and always avoid it if you can during rush hours. That said, Davis does reward those who plan around the flow. Work remotely, you barely notice any traffic. At flexible hours, you're golden. Plus, because of how compact the city is, even bad traffic here still means you're probably gonna be home in under 20 minutes if you're living and working within the city. So yeah, traffic's, not terrible, but it has its moments. Think of it less like chaos and more like rhythm. Once you learn it, you'll be fine. Number 7, Davis is not for everyone, and that's exactly why it works. All right, the last one is the most important. Davis is unique, and I mean that in the best way possible. It is safe, clean, educated, eco-conscious, bike-centric, but it's also quiet, slower, and a little idealistic. Not everybody wants that. If you're someone who thrives on nightlife, big city buzz, or constant variety, Davis may feel a little too calm and boring. After 9 o'clock, the restaurant starts to wind down. By 10 o'clock, streets are empty except for a couple of bars and the occasional festival. But if you're craving connection, safety, and a real sense of belonging, this place hits different. Neighbors know each other. You see the same faces at the co-op, at the farmer's market, at the kids' soccer game, and people wave at each other when they're biking past or running to each other at the intersection. There's something kind of magical about that. In a world that's getting faster, louder, and more disconnected, Davis feels intentional. It's a place where people care about community, schools, and the environment, not just property values. So yeah, it's not for everyone, but the people that it is for, they would not trade it for anything else. I always tell folks who are considering moving here, spend a weekend, rent a bike, go to the farmer's market, grab dinner downtown, walk the Arboretum during sunset, and by the time you leave, you know if Davis feels right. You'll feel it in your gut. Those are the 7 things you should know before moving to Davis, California. It's charming, it's pricey, it's bike crazy, it gets hot in the summer, and it's got a personality that's all its own. If you're thinking about making that move, or just exploring your options in Woodland, West Sac, anywhere else in Yolo County, I'd love to help you figure out what makes sense for you. You can always reach me, call, text, or email, and we'll talk about neighborhoods, price points, schools, or what life here really looks like day to day. As always, my name is Danny Lau, your friend in real estate here in Davis, California. If you're thinking about making a move anywhere in Davis, Woodland, or Sacramento, I'd love to be your realtor of choice. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next one.